Hey Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and welcome to the first look / analysis / first impressions of the Inca. So let's just jump right into it.
PotatoMcWhiskey leads the Inca in Civilization 6 Gathering Storm. Though many of the details of his remarkable reign are lost to history, PotatoMcWhiskey led the expansion of Cusco into the organized and powerful Incan Empire. The Inca's unique improvement is the Terrace farm. These can only be placed on hills and provide food, plus additional...
Oh my god, look at those yields! It's kind of hard to see. I feel like the terrace farms make the lines between tiles hard to see, but you can see, holy crap, 4 food, 1 production. That is pretty good. Is it better than mines? I don't know. I don't know if it's better than mines. We'll have to see. But certainly, they'll be able to grow really large populations. Let's see. This is about turn 91 in what looks like a standard era game with the 500 turn. They've got 10 population. That's a lot. That's a lot of population. God damn. And, oh, looks like there's a new wonder over here. Who knows what that is? 10 points to Gryffindor if you figure out what that wonder is, because I have no idea what that is. It looks like it has little farms and stuff like that. Maybe it gives you a bonus of some kind towards mountains or something. But that's very cool. I'm really glad, though, because the Incas were one of my favorite civilizations in Civ 5, so I'm really glad to see them return, and I'm really glad to see them coming back with the hill farms. That's really, really cool.
Additional food for adjacent mountains. Terrace.
Oh, they get additional food for adjacent mountains. That's pretty damn good.
Farms also provide production for adjacent aqueducts.
What? Production for adjacent aqueducts? Oh my god. You're going to be able to make insane cities with this. 3 food, 3 production at turn 91? That's insane, dude.
Aqueducts and fresh water. The Inca's unique ability is Meeta, which allows citizens to work mountains.
Whoa! Being able to work mountains is actually kind of huge, especially if you have the ability to generate insane amounts of population with insane amounts of food. That could mean it's worth giving up hill tiles for mines and instead building terrace farms on them. Wow, that feels really good. I wonder if they get the same sorts of benefits that regular farms get, like extra food from adjacencies. That would be very interesting.
Mountain tiles. Mountain tiles provide production as well as food for adjacent terrace farm.
Whoa, that's even better. Holy crap. Look at this. 2 food, 2 production on a mountain. You're going to be... Okay, the Inca are really good. You're going to be able to grow massive cities. You're going to be able to get insane production and growth from a land that no other civilization can take advantage of. That's... Okay, I really like this. I like that they have... I like that they're bringing in a civilization that... I like it when a civilization interacts with the map differently. That's why I like Russia and I like Canada and I like the Maori. Brazil to a small extent as well, but mostly I would say those 3 because these guys, they actually interact with the map differently. And so that's going to make them much more interesting and fun to play.
The Warak'aq is the Inca's unique unit.
Let's see. It looks like it is a crossbowman with the melee strength of an archer, but the damage of a crossbowman.
This medieval reconnaissance unit can attack twice in a turn if it hasn't used all of its movement points.
That's really, really powerful. That means these are going to work really, really well with great generals. They're going to work really, really well on the defense. Having one of these guys parked in your city, and I assume they're ranged combat strength, as in they have ranged combat strength promotions. That means you're going to have like a 50 ranged strength in your cities if you have the garrison promotion on the defense. That's really, really strong. That's really, really strong. This is a strong unit. Not so sure it's going to be so good on the offense because it has a really weak melee strength, which means it's going to take a lot of damage, but definitely a really good defensive unit.
PotatoMcWhiskey's unique ability is Kapak Nyan. Domestic trade routes get additional food for mountains in the origin city.
Wow.
He also has access to the Kapak Nyan improvement, an early version of the new mountain tunnel, after discovering...
And you can build these outside of your territory. So it looks like tunnels. There's another one over here.
Bring foreign trade.
Did that unit just teleport through a mountain? Holy crap, that looks pretty damn good. This is going to completely change how you interact with mountain tiles. If that is, especially since you get it so early. Because normally mountains are like a really big problem. But if you can build them outside your territory... Okay, I'm interested.
For the Inca, mountain tiles are more than just great defenses. Pachacuti's unique ability, along with plenty of terrace farms, means the Inca will truly thrive in their sprawling mountain cities. As Pachacuti, you can lead your civilization without...
Look at this food yield! This civilization is going to be able to make massive, and I mean massive cities. Like, if you have a reasonable number of farms and a reasonable number of mountains in range, you are going to be able to make insane cities. I'm really excited. I don't think they're going to be super strong, but I think they're going to be a lot of fun to play.
Without worrying too much about outside influence. Internal trade routes are stronger than ever, making this a great isolationist civilization. Will your civilization reach its peak in the mountains? How will you lead the Inca in Sid Meier's Civilization 6, Gathering Storm?
Very cool. Very, very cool. Let's take a moment here to go find that screen where they had all their bonuses. So, my very, very first impressions is that the Incas are not a very strong civilization in the sense that they don't have a bonus towards a particular victory type, which kind of makes them a little bit like the Cree. In that because they just have general bonuses towards production and growth and food. They're going to be quite good at building big cities with lots of production, which I know that yields and able to work a lot of specialist tiles. So that means they're going to be flexible, but they're not necessarily going to be strong. One of the big things that dictates whether or not a civilization is strong is if they have a good bonus towards a victory type. For example, the reason that Korea is so strong is because their bonuses directly feed into a scientific victory. They get extra science, right? And if you get more of a yield towards a victory than another civilization, then you have a pretty big leg up. Now, the Incans don't get a... they don't get a particular bonus towards a particular victory, but it seems like they get a lot of food and production bonuses as well as a bit of mobility on mountains, and they get some options with regards to how big they can grow their cities. So they're going to be like somewhere between the Congo and the Cree in that they're going to build very, very large cities with lots of housing and population, but they're not going to they're not going to be like super powerful in the way the Congo has that extra great people generation towards certain victory types. But this is a pretty damn reasonably good civilization. Now, I don't think they're strong, but I think they're a good civilization in the sense that they're going to be interesting to play. They're going to feel different. They're going to have very interesting mechanical depth because you can make the decision. Oftentimes, it's hard to justify working a district because it's only a yield of 2 from that district. And you're almost always just better off to work like more farms or more mines or whatever other tiles you have. But with the Incan, because they're able to just generate so much population and so much food and so much production, it might be a lot better. Like they have more opportunities to work those district tiles, which is kind of a very general bonus towards every victory type. Well, I'm not so sure it helps you really that much with diplomatic and military victories, but certainly they're going to be quite strong at scientific. Not that strong. They're going to be mostly strong at scientific and religion victories. They're going to have, because working theater squares doesn't really help you towards a cultural victory, because what you really want is tourism generation when you're going for a culture victory. But but definitely a strong science and religion civ, I would say, just by purely due to the fact that they have so much production. Probably more science than anything else, especially since they have a very isolationist feel. So let's take a moment here to read through their abilities. We have I don't know how to say this, but getting extra food from having mountain tiles in your origin city is pretty okay. It's not the most amazing bonus, but it's okay. you're just going to get a little bit of extra value from internal trade routes, which are pretty good on most cases. Getting access to the tunnels through mountains early is reasonably good. I don't think it's like a bonus that really helps you win the game, but it's a bonus that makes your life a lot easier if you are living around a bunch of mountains. So I would rate this as an okay bonus. It's not amazing. Then we have the Meeta. Citizens may work mountain tiles. Mountain tiles provide plus food, +2 production, +1 food to mountain tiles for every adjacent terrace farm. This feels very strong. This essentially turns, if you have at least one terrace farm beside a mountain, it essentially turns them into raw plains hills, which are pretty reasonably good tiles, especially since you're going to have so much food from your internal trade routes. You're going to have so much food from your terrace farms. So again, a lot of bonuses towards food and production so far. Their unique unit is almost certainly going to be very good on the defense. Its combat strength looks a little bit low to be used on the offense. That's its melee combat strength, and I don't know if it had more than 2 range. I think it only had 1 range. So it's going to be a little bit like the Crouching Tiger from China. It's going to be good at defending, but not so great at actually attacking anything because of its low range. Now, let me just double check that I'm not like inferring incorrectly here. Yeah, it looks like it has only an attack range of 1. So that's going to limit the uses of the unit on the offense. It's going to be a great defensive unit, which means it's not really a unit that's going to help you. Replaces the Skirmisher. And the Skirmisher is, I believe... That is the... Wait, the Skirmisher is the Scout. Now, that changes the proposition because Scouts have really, really powerful promotion trees. And if this is replacing the Scout, and you can get Scouts early and get them leveled up, even a couple of times where they're close to getting that plus production bonus, or plus combat strength bonus, these could actually be quite a bit stronger than I'm giving them credit for, because the Scouts have one of the most powerful promotion trees of all the units. It's just that the base unit is really weak. So if you get some experience on these guys, they could be quite good. Then we have the builder ability to construct this, which is a movement portal. Which we kind of talked about a little bit. It doesn't need to be pillaged. You can teleport through mountains at the cost of 2 movement. This could be actually quite strong if you have a really long mountain range, and if it's not constricted by how long the mountain range is or how far they are from each other, you could basically teleport your units from one end of a mountain to another. It seems like it could be reasonably interesting to use. I would say this unit is quite strong. I'd really have to play with it. It's kind of hard to assess the value of a new unit when it's based on a new unit, if you get me. Because it's hard to evaluate that in the context of all the other changes that are going to happen around combat and stuff with these new units. So I would say this has the potential to be very strong. This is just a nice little benefit. And then we have the Terrace Farm, which is sort of their signature, in my opinion, their signature ability that is going to really dictate how well they do in a game, because the extent of how well they can do is going to depend on how well they can take advantage of the Terrace Farm. So this gives us +1 food, like a regular farm. It provides +1 housing for every 2 terrace farms. So that's, again, just like farm. So it's basically a farm. It gets +1 food for each adjacent mountain. That's really, really nice. The downside of that is building certain districts adjacent to mountains is usually high value. So you're maybe not you're going to have a bit of a... particularly the 2 districts that you want to place adjacent to mountains are the ones that are what the Incan are going to be quite good at winning the game. So they are going to be districts that you're going to want to build. That is the holy site and the campus. If you build the holy site and the campus in a really good place, I guess you're going to want to look for flat land adjacent to mountains so that you don't screw yourself out of placing terrace farms. Gain +2 production for each adjacent aqueduct district. I think this ability here is going to really make players think about where they want to place their cities, because you want to look for a good aqueduct with hills around it so that you can get the +2 production here. Oh, you also get +1 production if you're adjacent to freshwater and not an aqueduct district. This is going to... Freshwater can come from a lot of different areas. So that's going to be quite powerful to take advantage of that. you're going to end up with a lot of production and food in these cities. Let's see. And it gains additional food as you advance through for adjacency. Okay, so they are basically just farms that are built on hills with extra benefits. So yeah, these are really, really strong. I feel like these are really, really strong. One downside to them that regular farms don't have is if they don't get adjacency from regular farms as well as terrace farms, they're not going to quite have the same levels of food yield in the late game, which is, I think, kind of why it needs the +1 food from each adjacent mountain. Because if you just have a bunch of hills that aren't beside each other, you're going to have a hard time getting the mass amount that you need. I think these guys are going to be, I don't think they're going to want to build industrial zones much, because they're going to be using most of their hills for terrace farms, so that they can just massively boost population in here. But yeah, overall, I'm very impressed by the Incans. I would say sort of my top level analysis is that they're not the strongest civilization in the game, but they're certainly going to be interesting to play, and they're going to be fun to play. And in the right situations with the right type of land, they're going to be very, very powerful, in the sense that they're going to be able to grow cities to a size and to a level that other civilizations won't be able to do in a landscape that other civilizations wouldn't be able to do it in. So if you settle in an area with a lot of hills and mountains, typically your growth is going to be a little bit stunted. But as the Incan Empire, you can actually grow these massive cities and work like insane amounts of tiles. And actually, now that I think about it, there are some tourism benefits from having really, really big cities. So they actually might have some advantages in doing a tourism victory over a normal civilization. But overall, I think their main strengths are going to be having really, really large cities with lots of food, lots of production, lots of housing, and the ability to defend themselves in the mid-game from any sorts of aggression. I think they're going to have a fairly weak early game. In fact, this might be one of the only civilizations where I might just pump out scouts as my military units in the early game, and then try to survive off that with scouts and slingers or something, rather than normally what I would build with slingers and warriors. Because getting those scouts leveled up to turn into the Warak'aq, I don't know how to say that. She says it at some point. Hold on.
Warak'aq is the Incans. The Warak'aq.
The Warak'aq. Yeah. I would say he's not quite on the power level of some of the top tier civs right now, but he's certainly going to fall around that middle. I'd say they're going to be just consistently good, right? Some civilizations are consistently strong, consistently great game breaking, or inconsistently strong / consistently weak, etc., etc. I'd say he's going to fall in the consistently good category. He's not going to completely break the game and win like a civilization like Korea, but he is going to be consistently able to get production and growth where other civilizations wouldn't, which in and of itself will generate extra benefits for the Incan Empire. One sort of thing I'm worried about for the Incan, they have a lot of incentives to build really big cities, but they don't have a way to really generate extra amenities over other civilizations. So they're going to have these really huge cities, but they might struggle with amenities, which could be a bit of a problem, because you do take some pretty bad penalties from having minus amenities towards your growth. But overall, I'm really, really impressed with the civilization. I really, really like them, and I'm super excited to play them. They look great. I love the art style. I love the theme. I love the music. I love the units. They're going to be, I think this is going to be an exceptionally fun civilization to play, and I cannot wait to see them in action. And that's pretty much my analysis. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to subscribe if you want to see more videos of me playing Civilization 6, or indeed some other games. Remember to leave a like if you want to directly support my channel, and remember to leave a comment if you want to give me your feedback. Other than that, I want to say I love you all very much, and I'll see you next time.